it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. I have another episode in my how-to series for you guys, and today's video is how to prepare for a retail interview. Now, if you haven't seen my other video, I do have a video up on how to pick out the right job, which I will link down below for you guys. But like I said, today is about how to prepare for a retail interview. I'm gearing this specifically towards a retail just because I had a retail interview today. And of course, as I'm leaving my interview, I'm like, oh my god, I have 2 YouTube videos that I already know what I want to do, that I was inspired by my interview and the interview process of like preparing for it and whatnot. And I wanted to share what I did and what helped me and what could help you guys with you. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing is you need to figure out where you're going to apply to. And to pick out where you're going to apply to, part of it you can go check out in my other video, but the other thing is just looking online and seeing what's available and what sparks your eye. And then whenever you do pick out places to apply to, apply, and then after you've done applying, make sure before your interview that you look up that company, that you research it really well. You want to know a lot of things about the companies because one of the interview questions could be, what do you know about, for example, because I just had the interview at Forever 21, what do you know about Forever 21? So there's a lot of good things that you guys can mention. So who founded Forever 21 and when? And I would say Do-Won Chang founded Forever 21 in 1984. And Do-Won Chang is also the CEO. So you want to know who the CEO is. You also maybe want to know who the CFO is. Another thing too is to check out how much money they made last year. So I went online and I looked at Forbes.com and they said that Forever 21 made $4.4 billion in 2015 and they were ranked number 96 in the top 100 private companies as far as who made the most money. They were ranked 96. But $4.4 billion is pretty awesome, right? And another thing too is I was saying, you know, who founded the company? Do-Won Chang. Look up Do-Won Chang. Look about his life. So I was reading his bio and his background and how he even started Forever 21. So him and his wife, I think it was like Jill Sook, they came to the United States to start a better life, and that was in 1981. And, you know, his wife was a hairstylist at the time, and he was working 3 jobs. So in the very early mornings, he was working at a coffee shop, then he was working at pumping gas at a gas station, and then at night he had his own business that he started as like a small office cleaning business. But whenever he was at the gas station, he would see all these nice cars come in, and the people getting out of the car all dressed nicely, and he was just like, I want that. So then he decided that, you know what, let's start a company. So over the 3-year period between 1981 and 1984, him and his wife raised $11,000 to start a new company, and then they did start their new company, and they came out with Fashion 21. Fashion 21 is the original Forever 21 that is in LA, and it's still there shown with the Fashion 21 name. And so they began Fashion 21 in 1984, and within a year they gained over $700,000 from the start of their business, and then ever since then they've been spreading. And what's really cool, another good thing to know is, are there any other names for that particular company? Because there's a lot of companies, I swear to you, they change their names all the time, or they come out with different lines. And Forever 21, like I said, started out as Fashion 21, but they're most well known as Forever 21. But they also have a bunch of others. They also have a couple other stores too called XXI Forever, Love 21, and then Heritage. So I looked that up too. So that's also good to know. Because another thing too is, if you do get the job and customers come up to you and they ask you those types of questions, I'm not saying they're going to, but if it ever comes up that, you know, someone in your company or a customer asks you these questions and you don't know the answers to the questions, that's really embarrassing, especially if they're like kind of key things like, when was the company founded, by who? Like, you need to know that. So I think that's just really important to look up those types of facts. Now, in addition to any other brand names, there's also another example I want to give to you. Gap. Gap is associated with a couple other companies, Banana Republic and Athleta. So you want to make sure, and Old Navy. So there's 3 other companies that they are associated. There might be one other one too, but those are the 3 main ones. So you want to know that. If you're applying to Gap, you need to be well aware that Gap is associated with Banana Republic Old Navy, and Athleta. And I think even if you go onto Gap's website, there's a tab that you can click, I think, to go to Banana Republic and whatnot. So they're all interconnected. And all of them, at least I know Gap, Old Navy, and Banana Republic are all located in San Francisco, California. That's where they are all headquartered. So that's also important to know, is other companies that are associated. Not just different names within the company, but also different companies that are associated with each other. Because a lot of people probably think Gap, Banana Republic, they keep that separate. But to you as an employee or as a future employee, you need to know that they are a lot more interconnected than the fact that they're just both in the mall. And then in your search, if you find any fun facts, keep those like logged in your brain. Because if you mention that, then you know that you've really done your research to find such a random fun fact. But Forever 21, they had a fun fact. In their Fashion 21 store, a woman almost went in labor and had her baby in Forever 21. And they're actually, the couple, they're actually legally changing the baby's name. I'm not sure the first name, middle name, or what it is, to Forever, which I think is pretty cool. It reminds me of that one Natalie Portman movie where she almost had her baby, or she did have her baby in a Walmart, and then she had the Walmart baby. So it was really funny that there was almost a Forever 21 baby. Okay, so you apply to a job, you're preparing for that job by doing research on the company. Now what? You want to research, if you can, what that company does, or what type of interview questions, or how that company does interviews. Now that for smaller companies, random companies that most people have never heard of, you might not find that information. But for someone like me or you who possibly are watching this video because you want to get a job in retail, that definitely was easy to find, especially Forever 21. I Googled and YouTubed, what interview questions Forever 21 asks. I watched YouTube videos on girls who did get interviewed at Forever 21, their experiences. So I think it's just a good way to get information that you need by Googling or going onto YouTube. So if you have that available to you, try. Even if you think it's a random company, try to look it up. Maybe you'll find something. But to know what set of questions that they are going to ask you, that's really helpful. Now, it's not going to be exactly the same as what you may find, so prepare for anything, but it's good to have, it's a good place to start. Now with Forever 21, I was looking up how they do interviews, and a lot of people said that they had group interviews. So there was like 4 other girls there, all interviewing at the same time. They're going down the line, asking each person the same question, and you're doing it together in a big group. Now for me, I got lucky. I just had a one-on-one meeting. It was a really nice interview. It felt like a conversation. She didn't really ask me too many off-the-wall questions. They were pretty straightforward, things that they would definitely need to know, and what I got to talk about was really applicable to my journey on trying to be in the fashion industry, and so I was really comfortable with how that went. But it could have been the situation where I walked in and there was 4 other girls, so I was just preparing for that, like me being interviewed with 4 other girls, which I think is more intimidating than interviewing on your own. So that's something that was good to know, because if I hadn't known that, I would have assumed, had I not done that research, I would have assumed a one-on-one meeting, and I could have ended up walking into a meeting with 4 other girls. And do you know how intimidating that would be? And maybe I wouldn't have prepared as hard had I thought that, oh, it's one-on-one, so it won't be that bad, because I think it's a little bit more cutthroat if there's like 4 other people. But yeah, just keep that in mind whenever you're doing the research to see how they interview and what kind of interview questions they ask. The next thing that you want to do to prepare for your interview is to look up interview questions and then answer them. So find a bunch of interview questions. If you found one specific to the store that you are applying to, that's even better. Or you can just find some general ones. I recommend finding one specific to the store if you can, and more general ones, because you never know what the interview is going to throw out at you. There's not some website that lists all their questions and they stick to those questions and they're going to ask those exact questions. It really just depends on the interviewer, what they're going to ask the interviewee. So keep that in mind. So I'm just going to share with you guys some interview questions that I was asked, and also some stuff that I found online that I think would be helpful for you guys. So one thing they may ask you is, tell me about yourself. What is your favorite thing about yourself? What is your strength? So something along those lines. They want to learn more about you and the positive regarding you. So for me, I was specifically asked, what is your favorite thing about yourself? And I talked about how I'm such a driven person and I'm a hard worker, and when I make a commitment, I do everything I can to do that job great, and I just work so hard in general. I don't know, I just went on and on about that. I also mentioned, I'm a creative person, and You know, just positive things that relate to the job that will get you in the door. Definitely saying that you're a hard worker, you're ambitious, you're driven, you're a people person, stuff like that will be really helpful to you. Another question, which I think is a silly question for interviewers to ask, but they really like to see how you answer. So if the question is, what is your greatest weakness? Do not actually say what your greatest weakness is. Don't say, I'm lazy, I'm late, I don't know how to tie my shoes, I'm shy. Don't say that. If you're trying to work in retail and you're trying to work the floor and help customers, the last thing that you want to say is that you're shy, you don't want to be late, you know, don't say anything negative like that. If you have to answer that question, just say that you're a perfectionist. You just care so much about trying to make everything perfect that sometimes you just need to learn to not be such a perfectionist. That's the best answer. I don't know of any other good answer to that would be, but definitely something along the lines where you care too much, or you work too hard, or something like that. Like you do too much of a good thing. Don't actually say a legit answer. And please, Lord, to any of the questions, to any question they ask you, never ever say that you are shy, that you are late, you have poor time management skills, that you're not a people person, that you get irritated, that you can't handle customers, that you're always right. No. Make sure that if you're working in retail and you want to be in the fashion industry, you got to be a people person. You got to be someone who's outgoing, who can talk to people, isn't afraid to talk to people. You want to help people. You got to be able to deal with stressful situations. You got to be, able to, deal with an angry customer. So you got to prepare for that. You also got to learn time management skills, organizational skills. You cannot be lazy. So, you have to be a good hard worker, and you need to be able to talk to people. So those are important things. So you don't want to come across as anything that's the opposite of that in a negative way. Do not be like, I can't talk to people. Which they probably would be able to tell in the interview. It's the girl who interviewed me, she obviously told that I could talk to people. I talked to her like I would talk to anybody, really. Like how I talk to you guys. Like that's just how I am. That will come across, but, to me it's just so funny that I have to say that, or people always end up saying this kind of stuff, because it's like, who actually says in their interview that they're shy, or that they have poor time management skills, or that they're late? Like, really, guys, that should be like a no-brainer, but I'm just saying it because apparently it needs to be so. Another thing that they ask is, why do you want to work here? So for me, I said, you know what, I want to work in the fashion industry, I see my future there, and I feel like working at Forever 21 will give me that retail experience, so that way one day I can, move higher up in the company and to get more of a high-end fashion job, and then hopefully start my own clothing line. So that's important to talk about. And the fact that, why I wanted to work at Forever 21 is those reasons. It's also really positive because they know that you are going to work really hard because you're building your experience. This is not the reason why I got the job. Yeah, it would be nice to get the extra pay, but I'm strictly doing it to get the experience. So if you're trying to get the experience, if you're paying for college, for you to not work hard, to show up to class and be on your laptop shopping, or like not paying attention, and you come to the job and you're just like, oh, whatever, why am I here? That's not the kind of employee that they're going to want. If you're trying to build your experience, you're obviously like a go-getter. You're like ready for it. You're like so excited to learn and to build. So I think that's like a positive answer. Another positive answer could be that, you really like the company. You've gone to the store. You've had great experiences with the company and the people there. You really like the clothes that they sell because they're very trendy, and, they keep up with the trends, and they don't cost you your life to pay for it, because I could do hauls on here for Forever 21. I could spend $100, have multiple outfits and accessories to show you guys. But if I spent $100 or even $200 at like Gucci or Chanel, I don't know, or if I paid like a couple $100 to get stuff from Tory Burch or something, that's gonna be a buttload of money for like 2 shirts. Come on. So, that's just another positive thing too, talking about the positives about the company, about the people, and the products itself. Another question is they might ask is, why should we hire you? So the reason that you're going to say that they should hire you should be, you know, obviously something positive that would be beneficial to the company. So for me, I talked about how I'm such a hard worker. It's really great to have a hard worker. You don't want a lazy bum working for you. Another thing too would be that you're a people person, you're very outgoing, you like to talk to people, you like to help people. So I think if you try to focus on, you know, your work ethic and, you know, your personality, being so outgoing, I think those are positive things to touch on in the retail industry. But yeah, what you say has to benefit them. It's not even about you, it's why would they decide to pick you? They may also ask you specific fashion related things. So what is your favorite fashion trend? Another thing too is they might ask you specific fashion questions about you. So they may say, what's your style? Describe your style to me. Or what is your favorite trend at the moment? Now, I wasn't asked these questions, but you know, for my fashion style, I would say, well, it changes with my mood. Some days I'm into pearls and lace and dresses and pink and all that stuff. And then other days, you know, my girly girl style. And then other days, I might just want to wear all black and then pops of color. Another day, I might just want to be a lazy bum and wear like this really cute matching yoga pant outfit with a cute top. You know, just describe your style, but also kind of point out the fact that your style could change because trends come and go, and you want to stay on trend. So that you kind of want to not say that too specific. You want to say like, oh, it could change by from day to day, you know, if I'm in this mood, I want to wear this. If I'm in this mood, I want to wear this. So kind of keep in mind that you're trying to sell the whole trend thing. Definitely want to sell that. And as far as favorite fashion trends, I would have said something, I mean, I really am still into the whole high-waisted shorts, high-waisted skirt trend that's going on. I think that's a really nice trend because you can really create some really cute outfits with that high-waisted trend. But a big thing that's out right now is chokers. So if you really like chokers, wear a choker to the interview and talk about how your favorite trend right now is chokers. Because that's a big thing that's coming back. And I believe, I've heard denim is coming back to denim jackets, but I feel like denim jackets is like kind of a staple item. But chokers are definitely a big deal right now. Other things that they may ask you can relate to customer service. So how would you deal with an angry customer? Have you ever had a challenge, and how did you overcome it? So for me, dealing with an angry customer, the biggest thing is you want to say that you're going to be patient, polite, listen to what they have to say, and then help them figure it out. You can find an example of a bad situation where a customer was angry and how you handled it. So just keep that in mind. Kind of think about negative scenarios that would happen at the company. How would you handle it? Have you had that experience before? What did you do to overcome it? And make sure the example that you use, it shows a positive way that you handle it, not like some guy was angry at me and I ran away crying. Don't say that. Say, you know, I was just patient, let him speak, helped him out. You know, patience, being patient and polite is a great way to answer that kind of question. They may also ask you about your future. What are your future goals? Where do you see yourself in fashion? For me, I would have answered, yes, I see a future in fashion. I hope to one day start my own clothing line. Another thing too is if they ask you what your favorite store is, you better say that store. Do not say any other store, especially their competitors. So that's another thing to look up is who are the company's competitors, and do not say their name or wear their brand. Only, you know, so just keep that in mind for the interview. You're interviewing at a store, your favorite store is that store. Then they may ask you some basic questions like, what is your availability, when can you start, and whatnot. And then the last thing I kind of touched on with the research is, you know, they may ask you, what do you know about the company? And you better have some facts that you know about the company to tell them. And I already went over what I found at Forever 21. Founded in 1984, founded by Do Wan Chang, yada, yada, yada. Another thing that you can do to prepare for your interview, and I didn't do that, is to do practice interviews. If you're in college, you may have a business center that will help you practice. Like you can sign up and they can do practice interviews with you. So I would encourage you, if you're in college, to look for that. Or you can maybe ask a friend or a parent or roommate to interview you. You can even give them the questions, but just having them there, asking you the questions and you answering and practicing can kind of help get you some practice, get you a little bit more comfortable for the actual interview. For me, I got lucky. The day of my interview was on a Sunday, so today's Sunday, You know, I could have had the interview after work. So if you have the interview after work, make sure you get your butt over to that interview as soon as possible. But for me, since it was a Sunday, I had, you know, the morning to get ready. So what I did was I got up, I worked out, I showered, and I got ready for the interview. And as I was getting ready, I was listening to the Devil Wears Prada just to give me some inspiration since I was applying to a fashion-related job. And I just solely focused on that interview and getting ready. I was not going on YouTube trying to get stuff done for YouTube. I wasn't filming videos. I wasn't commenting back to people because I knew if I started that, it would totally set off my mood and I would get frazzled and then I would start running late because I would be so into YouTube that I would get distracted. So I just decided to solely focus on getting ready for the interview, taking my time, watching the Devil Wears Prada, making sure my makeup, my hair looked really nice, and then just doing that. So I would highly recommend if you have that possibility of being able to take the morning to just get ready for the interview, just do that. Do not try to not to focus on anything else. Now, if you're going right after work, make sure once you're done work, you leave on time, get over to the interview as quickly as you can. Hopefully you schedule it at an appropriate time. And then do not do any other work. Do not check your work email. Do not do stuff for YouTube. Just focus on, okay, let me check my makeup. Let me check my hair. Let me make sure I have my stuff together if you have time. Get something to eat before the interview. Make sure you pee before the interview. So make sure you do that. Now, going along with the interview, there has never been, to me, a more important time for you to dress to kill than for something in the fashion industry. You do not want to come in looking like a lazy bum and not put together. Now, with the fashion industry, you don't have to wear a suit and tie. That's what's great about it. You know, I actually could express my fashion sense with this type of interview. I'm not stuck in that, you know, pencil skirt like thing. So for number one, if you are interviewing for a fashion brand, wear that brand. You don't have to, every single piece of item that you're wearing doesn't have to be from that brand, but make sure the main things are from that brand. So for me, this dress is from Forever 21. I just got it too. It's something new. It's not something old, so they may actually recognize it. You may pass it on the way into your interview on the shelf or on a hanger or something. So I got this dress. My tights and my boots are from Target and DSW. But the dress is from Forever 21, this bracelet is from Forever 21, and my pearl earrings are from Forever 21. Another thing I did was I curled my hair. I wanted it to look really nice. You know, typically I wear my hair wavy from day to day, which does look pretty, but I wanted to make sure that it was really nice for the job. So you could curl your hair, you can straighten your hair. And another thing I did was I usually would walk and catch the bus and stuff, but it's snowing today and I knew the snow would mess up my hair. So I actually took a lift to go to the interview, and then I just took the bus back, and my curls are a lot looser than they were before, and I was like, thank goodness, because if got ruined before the interview, that would have really sucked. So I was like, I'm just going to spend the money to go to the interview via a car, so that way I don't mess my hair up or my makeup up or whatever. So kind of keep that in mind. So definitely, you know, do your makeup, do your hair, pick out an outfit, make sure it's trendy, make sure everything looks nice. Do not be lazy at all. Just like go in, when you're trying to pick out your outfit, think Glamazon. It doesn't have to be even Glamazon. Just think about a trend. Because Forever 21, they have different sections that are geared toward different people. Different types of people and different types of styles. Don't pick the athletic one for the interview. That's nice, but don't pick out the athletic one for an interview. Pick out the more trendy outfit for the interview and make sure it looks nice. And the last thing, like I kind of mentioned before, do not wear anything from their competitors or their direct competitors. So I looked up some of the competitors of Forever 21, which is Charlotte Russe, Aeropostale, and H&M. I'm not wearing any Aeropostale, H&M, or, what did I just say? Aeropostale, H&M, or Charlotte Russe. Just Forever 21 and some other random stuff. Not a big deal. Okay, so you've done your research, you practiced your interview questions, you got ready, you look really nice, you're getting over to your interview. What's next? So I would highly recommend, if you can get to the interview early, get there early. What I did was I left to go to the mall. Now, the Forever 21 that I applied to is in a mall, so I left around like 11 o'clock, and my interview was at 1 o'clock, and I got there by like 11:30, and I just sat somewhere in the mall and was on social media, kind of preparing more for the interview. I got some food in me, then I went to the bathroom, and then I walked in a half hour early. Because one of the YouTube videos that I was watching, they came for the interview like 12 minutes early, and there was already 2 girls there, because she was in a group interview, but there was already 2 other girls there, so it's just like you don't want to be, even if, sometimes on time is late. So it's good to be early. Now maybe they could have gotten annoyed that I was a half hour early. That's pretty early, but at least it shows that you cared and you weren't like a half hour late or 2 minutes late or right on time. And lucky for me, it was like they had me wait 2 minutes, and then we went and had the interview. So it was really nice. I got it out of the way, and then I showed that I could be early and on time for the interview. And then during the interview, just, take a breath. You've done the research. You've taken the time to prepare for the interview, and just treat it like a conversation. Just, be upbeat, be excited, answer the questions. If they throw you a curveball and you get a little nervous, it's not going to be the end of the world. They know it's an interview. They know it's not easy. They know people get nervous for interviews. So it's not going to be crazy. So just know that. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, especially if you already prepared, you look great, you have that go-getter personality, you're like really personable. Don't sweat too hard about it, because then you're gonna get nervous and then you're gonna stumble. So it's really important to just relax and have a conversation. It was really nice. My interviewer, I was talking to her, I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl is really nice. I would love to work with her, because we seem to connect on a lot of different levels, because we have the same interests too. So if you create a bond with your interviewer, that is even better, because then they like you even more. So a lot of people like to hire people that they like. If they have 2 people and both of them have the same great resume, but this person is a lot more fun or nice than this person, they're gonna pick the person who has the better personality. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other how-to videos that you want me to do that's related to jobs, interviews, whatnot, let me know down in the comments. If you have suggestions for a completely different type of how-to video, let me know what you guys would like to see, because I would love to put that together for you guys. Now, if you have not subscribed to my channel already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Like this video if you've liked it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye! Today's the start of my how-to series, where I'm going to be doing anything that's a how-to. I'm going to start out with job-related things. But if there's any how-tos you want me to do, if you have any suggestions, please let me know down in the comments what you would like to see. So in this video, I'm going to be doing the how to pick out the right job, and then I have another video coming up that I'm going to film after that's going to be how to prepare for a retail interview.